So YouTube, it's a place where people create videos and share those online with other people. There's a ton of different genres here, which is pretty cool. I personally really enjoy some things on this platform, and as a consumer of content, I've even wondered what it might be like to make videos myself. And that's what we're doing here today. And really over the span of a few months, as I, someone with literally no experience in anything related to this, attempts to make a YouTube video. If you're watching this, it means I have successfully made and posted a video to YouTube. No guarantees about the quality, but it's up there. If that's interesting to you, stick around, and we'll talk about how I went from zero experience and knowledge to posting my first 3 videos on this platform. I'm someone who enjoys watching YouTube, and I assume that might be something that resonates with you if you're on this platform watching this video. I've, as a consumer of content, often wondered what it must be like to make videos, but that's felt like an insanely daunting task for me because I have zero experience in anything related to social media or content creation. I'm a scientist and manager in my day job and just am not familiar at all. But there are things I feel like I'd like to put out in the universe, and so I'd like to learn how to do this. This video, assuming I keep up with this whole thing, is one I'd like to have in a series where I show the journey of learning how to do a new thing from zero to achieving a goal. It's great to see the final product, that's obviously the pretty part, but I think there's value in showing how tough the journey can be, because when you're trying to learn something new and in the thick of the process, when all you see is a final product, it can be easy to get a little demoralized. There's this thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect that I think about a lot related to this. It's basically a graph that shows when you're first getting started with something new, you have an unreasonably high level of confidence and belief in the success that you can achieve with it, and then quickly lose that confidence and feeling like you are for sure going to succeed when you start to actually understand the level of difficulty associated with achieving the task. Once you've hit that point where you don't really know if you're going to be able to achieve it, once you have that information, you're actually in a pretty good spot because your trend is going to be upward after that point. But it can be a pretty tough spot to be in. It's like when you're young and dumb and think you know everything, and then you get a little bit older and you learn stuff and you realize like your parents were right about some stuff. You have some experience under your belt, so you lose your confidence and then eventually gain some earned confidence, hopefully. We don't often see the full life cycle of someone at the very beginning of learning how to do something new all the way through to achieving the goal. I usually personally just see snippets at the beginning or the end of this journey. This will not be that. This video, and really the series, is intended to show as much as possible the full life cycle of like wanting to achieve a goal all the way to actually hitting it. This life cycle is something I see every time I try to learn something new. And while that can be annoying, it can also be pretty cool to be on the other side and see a condensed version of the process when you're in a space to appreciate it. And so I hope you enjoy my artistic rendition of the Dunning-Kruger effect in my YouTube video about making a YouTube video. The start of my YouTube journey. I officially decided that I wanted to start making YouTube videos in early 2023, probably around March. It felt and still feels a little bit lame as a near 30-year-old just jumping into this. It feels like something younger people do, and especially thinking about potentially making money on this platform, given that I've got like a fairly successful day job. But more on that at another time. So while I'd had thoughts of potentially making YouTube videos for a while, I didn't truly consider it really until this year. I didn't want to spend a lot of money to get started, so for my initial setup, was just going to use things I already had. My setup was a Canon EOS 4000D, a camera I bought for taking pictures of my art a few years back, a microphone that I had for podcasting, my MacBook Air from college, iMovie, and a dream.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
And then came a plan. I figured it would make sense to have 3 videos posted at the start of my channel, so if people came and found one video that they liked, there would be more things for them to see and potentially want to subscribe to. So There's a few videos if you want to go check them out. Ideas for videos were not in short supply when I was getting started because I'd been thinking about making videos for so long, but narrowing them down took a minute. I ended up deciding on 3 videos that I thought would kind of show the span of content I was interested in making at the time of starting filming. And they were a life advice video, a video about me learning how to play the guitar, and a meal kit delivery review video. I worked on the guitar video over the span of all 3 videos. The life advice video was pretty early on in learning how to make things, and the meal kit video was at the very last one that I made, which I think shows when you watch them. One thing I wanted to be really mindful of is that the internet has an outrageous amount of content that can be easy to get lost in. I have found that I don't tend to do as well when I spend too much time up front trying to learn everything that I need to know, and instead do better when I'm executing and learning as I go what I need to know. And so I tried to be mindful of that as I was going through this process. It's some advice I would give to a you, if there is a you out there, that trying to learn everything before you execute on any type of work is probably going to lead to inaction. There is never a point when you will know everything and will be able to execute perfectly with the knowledge that you've gained prior to doing anything. It's just leading you to believe there is a perfect, which there's not. Perfection is an illusion that leads to misery and inaction. In life, for me personally, success has come when I have ungracefully thrown myself into action and learned along the way. And so I tried to mimic that as I went through here. There's a ton of learning along the way, and most people learn by doing and through experience. And sometimes trying to know everything is a waste of time. I could spend hours, weeks, months learning every trick for editing and become an expert on how to edit without ever actually editing a video. Or I could film a video, edit it, and look up what I need to know along the way that will help me get to the product I'm looking at. And that's what you'll see. A lot of ungraceful face planting on my way to posting some mediocre YouTube videos. And obviously make sure that advice makes sense for you. I'm not an expert or anything, I'm just some broad on the internet. But now that I've rambled, I should discuss actually making videos now. First things first, to make a YouTube video, I must record a video. Once I got the ideas, I thought this part should be manageable, or at least relatively easy. I was wrong. That's going to be a theme of this tale. Filming came in 2 categories: talking head, like what I'm doing here, and B-roll. B-roll for me consisted of largely things like clips of me practicing the guitar or cooking, and occasionally times when I would turn the camera on myself in a moment and while I was doing something to record myself having the moment. I don't know if the last one actually counts as B-roll, but I'm going to count it for the sake of this video. And then also screen recording, which was the easiest of any type of recording for me. I seriously underestimated how difficult the talking head and the B-roll would be. For the talking head, I did not initially realize the value of scripting, which is kind of dumb on my part because I tend to be quite the rambler in my real life. So quickly I realized that for the talking heads, I was going to need a script so that I could keep on track with the storyline. I didn't want to ramble incoherently like I did with my friends. I wanted to tell stories which had a through line. Scripting worked best for me when I had the script near me but wasn't necessarily trying to quote word for word. I try to script as I talk, and so I'll often be talking as I'm scripting. But it can feel different when you're talking to the camera and being conversational, so it's nice to have the flexibility in how I choose to speak. Once the script was done enough, I actually got in front of the camera and started filming, and this part was tough. Looking into the lens of the camera while talking feels super weird, and I end up saying and and pausing and looking away a lot, which is fine, but definitely doesn't always make for the best content. There's other promises that these services now that I've said a nice let me redo that. Yeah, that's my face. Okay. Nope. I don't even know if I said the right thing. Insert intro. I am doing a very bad job of this. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. I have to stop. Another thing that made the talking head difficult is that my camera doesn't record continuously for more than 12 and a half minutes. This is specifically because I have just a camera, like a photo camera, and not a video camera. And I didn't know until I was actively trying to film and lost a bunch of footage. The first time I sat down to record, I was doing the talking head and went through my entire script before I realized that I had lost a majority of the footage because the video had just cut out at some point and I didn't know when it cut. Just spent like a stupid amount of time filming what is going to be like 10 minutes of me talking. And it only recorded, my computer only recorded 12 minutes of it, or my camera, whatever. It just cut out after 12 minutes, and I'm like absolutely certain there was like 20 to 30 minutes of video footage. So now I have to figure out what cut out, and also is all hot garbage probably. So I think I'm gonna have to re-record the whole thing, which is frustrating and makes me nervous because I don't even know what, I don't know, man. Ugh. I don't even know what was usable, so I might just want to re-record everything. And it was just so much effort for like, I know that this is me learning how to do a YouTube video, and it's not going to be immediately easy, but it is just, oh, it's just annoying. So I don't know. I was going to record this moment to be like, wow, fuck. That's all. And even knowing it was a thing, when I went to re-record the guitar video, I still ended up missing footage in the middle because I did it again and was too tired to re-record a third time. Finally, the bane of existence when trying to record is again my stupid camera. This camera, because it is a photo camera, doesn't autofocus on video. And when I look at it on my computer, it doesn't look focused, even when it is. Am I focused? It doesn't look very focused. Is my face not focused? Okay. Don't know. Is this like on? Are you on? You look really blurry. Okay. I don't know how. I might just need a new app. Damn, that's blurry. There we go, I guess. Am I blurry? I feel like I did that before, but now I'm nervous. And without my stupid little checklist of all of the things I need to do to set up recording, I forgot to hit focus on my life advice video. And so for the first like 8 minutes of the video, I'm blurry as hell. And while I did use some B-roll, there wasn't enough to fill up that whole bit. To really emphasize how much of a pain this whole talking head thing is, I ended up re-recording both my guitar and my life advice video and this video 2 times because they're so difficult to do. And the guitar video is because I lost most of the footage and just needed regroup time. And the life advice video is because the first time I recorded it, I did it in a different spot and hated how I looked so much. I just like couldn't stand the thought of editing. And this one was kind of the same. I had bad lighting and it kind of looked like I had a black eye and I just couldn't do it. That's what we're doing here today. Oh wait, no. Rewind. And that's what we're doing to here. And that's what we're doing here today, and really over the span of a few months. If you're watching this, it means that I have created and successfully posted multiple videos on this platform. Nothing about that doesn't say anything about the quality, but I did it. And hopefully for this one that's not true, but for at least the other two videos, the takes still weren't perfect. B-roll, 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 B-roll. B-roll was tricky for like a totally different reason than the talking head was. I don't know how to be a normal person when I'm in front of a camera, and so I was just so weird. During the guitar clips as I was practicing, there's so many clips of me staring creepily into the camera as I'm trying to just play the guitar and be a normal person. It was horrifying to see how creepy I looked. Fortunately, I was able to clip those bits out of the actual video. Unfortunately for you, I feel that I need to put it in right now so you can see what I'm talking about.
E minor.
See what I mean? It's freaky looking. Something else that was a little bit challenging was figuring out what to record these parts with. So my camera, for the reasons I've explained already, is a little bit difficult to record with for some things, but my phone doesn't necessarily have a great video quality. And so I was tossing back and forth what made the most sense and ultimately ended up doing most of my B-roll with my iPhone. Apologies if the video quality is just too atrocious for you to handle, but that's where we're at right now. The shit I didn't realize was a problem until I started editing. Once the footage was captured, it was time to edit. And let me tell you, I learned a lot in this part of the process. The first video I started editing was the guitar video. And I realized that I made a mistake that I didn't even think was possible when I started to edit that one. My audio wouldn't sync up with my video. This is not a tutorial at all. I am not here to teach you how to play the guitar. Let me backtrack. Initially, when filming, I was trying to use the audio from my camera, but it sucked. It sounded like I was filming underwater, which is not ideal. And so I decided that I would use the mic that I had gotten from my brief stint of attempting to podcast to record my audio with. There was some debacles trying to get software which would let me record my video with my camera and my audio with my mic, but ultimately that was just a pain in the ass. So I ended up doing Audacity to film my audio and the app for Canon to film my video. So my plan was to use those two different softwares and line them up in editing, which I imagined could not be that difficult. The thing that I didn't know at the time is that the speed that auto records at is different than the speed video records at. Apparently, video records at 48K, whatever the unit is. I don't care, I do biology. And audio typically records at 44.1K. As I'm sure you can guess by now, when I had my footage and my audio and was trying to sync everything up, it wouldn't because the speeds were different. I had no idea why that happened at the time. I obviously know now. But it took hours longer to edit than it needed to sync up the audio and the video. At the end, I think my audio ended up being 102% speed and my video was 98% speed for most of the clips. After some Googling and thinking I had figured out what happened, I did a tester run, so here's some of that. Now I'm also recording video. was like a decent clap. It was not the worst clap I've ever done. Okay. So, this is just a test to see if I figured out this whole sampling rate thing. Why does it always look blurry in the view? That's upsetting. Yeah. This is just me attempting to make sure that my audio sampling rate is accurate and now matches my face. So I'm just going to talk for a few minutes. I'll do a clap at the end and I'll see if my words are matching my talking. This is not footage that needs to be used. Thank God. Oh, that's cute. I have so many good stickers. Women belong in the lab. Oh, that's not going to focus. This video does not autofocus. Look at here. It's very cute. Okay. Also just have like a gnarly zit on my cheek that I don't want to show. Cool. Well, since I'm here talking to myself, I guess I'll say some words. Hi. Welcome to my life. I don't know if anyone will see this because this is just me. Might not be balanced. Fun. This is me just testing audio sampling rates because I apparently don't know how to sample audio at the appropriate speed. So when I was using when I was using Audacity to record my audio the first time so I could get a better sound with my mic, I ended up sampling at the wrong speed so that my video and my audio didn't match up, and my whole guitar video was just like a pain to edit because I had to like edit frame by frame almost to like get the audio and the video to line up. So I was like breaking it up, changing the speeds. It was really bad. So hopefully this test lets me know that it works now and I don't have to do that again. I'm also realizing that I didn't, when I first was recording as well, I wasn't aware that my camera auto turns off after like 12 and a half minutes. So I'm going to need to like keep an eye on my recording to make sure that it doesn't just shut off automatically. Not for this one really, because I'm just here trying to like make sure my, audio and video sample line up. But for not that important. So that's fun. In other news, since this is a test and only a test, I feel like I should know by now. It's been like 3 minutes. So, end of my work day, just testing this video shit. Fingers crossed it works. Wish me luck. Now I'm gonna do my end clap and call it quits. So, once I got into editing, I realized I had encountered the dumbest problem that technology had ever created. Just before I move on, like, what the fuck is up with that? Just like, why is it not just that like the video and the audio and like life records at the speed of life, you know? Like there is a speed that life moves at. Why are they different? Who decided this? Like I'm over it, but I'm not over it, you know? Okay, next thing I guess. Editing taught me a lot about what I could do better at the filming process beyond just the stupid audio shit. One thing that came up that I realized is that I needed to start doing retakes when I fumbled in my words. Initially, when I was doing my guitar video, I would just kind of power through if I was saying or like or pausing a lot, and that just ended up making me chop the clip so heavily in the edit that it was kind of like jerky and odd to watch. It didn't happen as much in the life advice video as it did in the guitar video. because I was a bit more comfortable in front of the camera. But by the time I hit the meal kit video, I had changed my strategy and did a ton of retakes. This made the overall editing process in some ways a bit longer because I had to go through more clips and more footage, but I think I ultimately got a better product out of it. And really, I don't think that adding the additional footage upped my editing time by that much, because when I had to do so much cutting of the footage, it just took forever. So I think it probably evened out in the end, but I got a better video with the meal kit one and the higher takes. I also noticed that I had a bad habit of starting to talk before I had looked away from my script, or looking back at my script immediately right when I finished talking. This wasn't great because I tried to make the discussions I'm having in the talking head portions a bit more conversational. And if I'm anxiously moving back and forth between my script and everything else, it just feels less organic than like I'm talking to someone. Adding some takes and being more conscious of these things that I was doing while I was filming helped me to hopefully create a better video, at least by this time as well. Adding the additional takes and learning more about how I react when I'm filming helped me be better as I filmed more videos. And hopefully you won't see as much of the weirdness that I was doing before in this one as you had in the previous ones. More on editing in general. To start off, I was working in iMovie because it's free on Mac and that just felt easy to me. And I want to emphasize that I knew literally nothing before I started filming any videos. The guitar video was the first time I had tried to edit anything at all ever. Basically, I was just trying to do something and then Googling to figure out if there was a way to do it. To really emphasize this, I had to Google how to clip parts of the footage so that I wouldn't have to just shorten all the clips. I needed to know how to break a clip so I could change it around and delete parts of the footage. I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. All of the editing that I've done has been really, really basic because I'm learning from fully ground level at this point. And while iMovie worked well enough to get started, I started to run into issues as I was getting into my meal kit video. I was using Canva to make some transition clips, so the little fillers that you'll see between sections. And while doing that, I accidentally stumbled upon how to use green screen for an overlay, so I thought that would help me. Basically, the issue I was running into is that there were a couple parts where I would want to have multiple pictures up on the screen, like a picture of pork over here and a picture of chicken over here or whatever. And I didn't know how to do that in iMovie because it would only let you overlay one clip with your main footage, and was a little frustrating with how to do that generally. I thought that the green screen would help me do that successfully, but when I ended up trying to overlay some pictures of food with the green screen, it made the food look pretty gross because it would turn the green beans and the broccoli gray. And while I maybe had some complaints about the meal kit services for some things, it definitely wasn't that they were sending me great produce. So to get the final product I was really looking for, I ended up switching over to another free software that I was recommended by a friend, DaVinci Resolve. The app does technically have a paid version, but I'm doing the free version because I don't get paid for this. One thing to note is that this is definitely a more professional type of software to use for editing. It doesn't feel as immediately intuitive as iMovie did, and I ended up Googling a ton to just get myself kind of acquainted. At this point, I'm pretty comfortable with clipping, moving, and doing some really basic editings, but other than that, total crapshoot. Transitioning to this allowed me to make some cooler things in my final meal video. For meal kits, I started off in iMovie and transitioned for the final touches into DaVinci. I feel like this ended up being really cool. There's the editing on this feels more impressive than anything I thought I would have been able to do, so that's pretty exciting. I ended up increasing my overall editing time by making the switch, but it feels totally worth it, and I'm super excited to see all of the functionality that I have yet to explore. Getting ready to post. I was finishing my videos and getting them ready to post a bit in waves. The life advice video came first, well before the other two, and the guitar video and the meal kit video came at nearly the same time, though the meal kit one was the last one that I uploaded. In the end, I was doing a bit of multitasking to get everything ready for the final upload. So I think a little pause for organization and tools might be good here. Both Canva and Notion are organizational tools that I used to help me kind of with the full life cycle of my videos. It helped me to stay organized and actually create in the end. For both Canva and Notion, I was using the free version, but there are paid versions for both of these platforms. Canva to me feels a lot kind of like a Microsoft Office Suites, but online. I was able to make YouTube intros, thumbnails, and some transitions in the software, which was amazing, or I guess website. For Canva specifically, I think I might actually end up upgrading to the paid version if this is something I continue to do long term. Using Canva, I would mostly use the search feature to find templates that would be most helpful for me and then edit those enough to make them fit my own purpose. I'm definitely not ready to start making things from scratch yet. Overall, it was incredibly useful for what I found it for, and I would totally consider going to the paid version in the future if this is something I keep up with. Notion is very different to Canva. Notion to me feels almost like a project management software. I think it might actually be a project management software, and it helped me to actually keep track of the content that I was making. I had so many ideas when I was first getting started. It was nice to have a place to dump all of the ideas that I had and then track how far along in the process I was for each of them. And so I'll flash up on the screen kind of specifically what I'm talking about, but I have a nice template that shows where each of my videos is at along in the process. The specific page I'm into is a basic content calendar. This helps me keep track of all of the ideas I'm working on and see where I'm at in the process. Rather than a basic idea, in progress, etc. steps, I updated the statuses to be more specific to the process I use for making videos. And then I made a template for the projects that I use for actually tracking to different things I need to pay attention to while I'm working on the video. If anyone watches this and thinks it would be helpful to just copy my templates, let me know and I can figure out how to make those shareable. I could also talk a bit about random organization stuff I do to keep track of my life if that's interesting, but that would definitely be for another day. I was using Canva to get to the final editing touches of my videos and then getting to the final place where I could post it. And this is where I kind of like fell off of my advice about not looking too much into things ahead of time. I started to get really nervous at the point that I was actually going to post things and let them be live and public on the internet. And I had seen so much on YouTube about how to be successful on YouTube and the importance of thumbnails and how to clickbait, but like not too much clickbaiting. And it just made me super stressed. And so I ended up delaying the actual posting pretty significantly before I actually got to uploaded videos. For thumbnails, I have no idea what I'm doing. For both the guitar video and the life advice video, I just took clips straight out of the video that I was filming. And for the meal kit video, I did try to take a separate one, but I hated it and it's terrible. So thumbnails are something I don't know about at all yet, except I know that the internet finds them very important, it seems, and I will get better in the future. Thumbnails are something I'm going to actively be figuring out how to do in the future. And who knows, maybe by the time I'm editing this, I will have figured something out and I will post a clip of my genius. Description. I don't really have much to say about descriptions, which I know must be crazy given the amount that I talk. But basically, I just made sure to put in links of anything that I used to make the video and then put a brief summary of what was going on. I don't tend to read the descriptions when I'm watching YouTube videos, so I just didn't really know what to do here. Getting ready to post a video means you need to go into the content creator side of the YouTube website. It's where you're going to be able to find royalty-free music if you need that. Basically, you just click on the create button in the upper right-hand corner and follow the instructions. That part was pretty self-explanatory. While technically this part was easy, emotionally this part was hard. It was tough to post videos and know that they would be publicly available and anyone could find them. And I still find that. I, as a person that's not on the internet really, am nervous to put myself out here in this way. So if you've made it this far, please be nice or quiet. Once I got the 3 videos posted publicly, I poured myself a little sparkling apple cider and celebrated my victory, which was pretty cool. And that's the journey I had getting to post my first 3 videos on this platform. Closing thoughts and advice to anyone trying something new. Well, first off, I still have so much to learn. While I feel like I've got the like kind of logistic workflow down for how to get a video started and how to post it on the platform, I still can learn so much about editing and filming and getting better at this that I have not yet. I don't think I'm an expert by any means, but I think I've seen a drastic improvement even from the 3 videos that I'd posted already, and I imagine to this one as well. Basically, this was a ton of work, a giant headache, and I'm proud of myself for where I am now. And I want to leave you with some advice if you are a genuine novice like I am and thinking about getting started with something like this. First off, very seriously, stay away from content creators that are making videos about how to get started on YouTube that already have giant platforms. If you are someone that doesn't have any experience making videos, editing, or anything like that, like where I was at, you're not going to find value in these people in their content yet because they don't remember what it's like to be a pure beginner. They know how to edit. They know how to brand. They're thinking about the marketing side. If you don't know how to edit a video or film one yet, that is not helpful advice to you. 2, try tackling one video at a time if possible. I was kind of concurrently working on all 3 videos, which was crazy. And I think that I actually would have done a lot better in all of them. Well, not the first one, but in the following 2, if I had done them kind of in an order. I learned so much from each step of the process, from filming, the talking time, and the B-roll, to editing both of those, to getting it ready to publish, that I could take into my next videos. And so I feel so much more competent to do it now because of the experience I have with those 3. And I think if you do it one at a time, you'll get to really benefit from that in a way that I didn't. And 3rd, set reasonable expectations for yourself. This is something I definitely struggle with, but if you've never made a video before, if you've never done any of this, the first video you make is probably going to be bad. And that's okay. And that's like great actually, because it means that you did it. You like went forward and posted a video, and there's so much to learn. That's really cool. Don't expect to be as skilled as your favorite content creator the first time you go. It's an unreasonable expectation, and honestly, it would never be fun if it was just something anyone could do. Also, I think it can be helpful to try and focus on exactly what you need to do in the moment rather than too much future planning. I think I definitely at points got so focused on figuring out what I was going to like do in the future and my posting schedule and everything that I got started in like March or April and didn't end up posting a video until August. None of the videos needed to take that long, except maybe the guitar video, but I was under the impression that once I posted my first videos that I was going to need to set a regular cadence for myself to keep up with this, which is some of that like taking in too much external advice from people that are not where I'm at right now. It doesn't necessarily make sense for me to post a video every single week given the amount of stuff that's going on in my life outside of this and that I don't make money from this at all. At the moment, this is a hobby for me, and it's a cool hobby that I'd like to get better at and keep going with, but it shouldn't be something that takes over my entire life. I personally find that I often will dive too hard into things, go way too intensely for a while, and then get a little burnt out of it. And so I've definitely abandoned things that I enjoyed because I just went too hard too fast. Maybe that's something that you experience too, and maybe it would be helpful for you also to try and like shed the mindset that this needs to be a very serious thing when you're first getting started. And I've officially talked forever. Also, thank you, if there's a you out there, for sticking it out through this whole video with me. I hope that it was worth it, and I hope that you got something out of it. The whole point of this video, and ideally the series, is to be a bit motivational for anyone trying to achieve a new goal or work towards something. Or at least provide a bit of entertainment if you're not in that spot, but just want to enjoy a lady rambling on the internet for a while. So I hope that came across. If you did find yourself here because you needed a little push to start your own YouTube journey or maybe some other creative pursuit, I'd love to hear about it in the comments if you're up to it. I'd love to hear about what you're up to and if there are things you've learned along the way that are different from what I've learned, or if maybe you had the same experience that I did in some of it. Also, subscribe and like and the other video stuff. My voice and brain are tired, so I'll bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your day. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! And so now we get to the part. Can you hear the seagulls? Is that just, do I just get to hear them? These fucking seagulls, man. Cool, let's keep it moving and grooving. Okay, what did I say? So many noises.